the stakes are too high, especially if Trump Trump does run again if he's alive. And we covered this on the show earlier today. Is DeSantis, like Trump's been going after DeSantis, and now Trump's people. Roger Stone is like going after Matt Gaetz, even though he recruited him supposedly. So they're trying to crush their opposition. I wouldn't say it's an inter-party fight. I think they're just trying to crush their opposition so he can consolidate power. Last night, Trump, there was a Trump family, there was a rally. Let's put this Twitter up. Going after, of course, Tish James. Tish James has been investigating, and has the news today is that they did not disclose, the Trump family did not disclose their finances appropriately. And like basically that's fraud. You can't, if you're being investigated, let alone to your taxes, you have to show where your income's coming from. And so Letitia James says, we're taking legal action to force Donald Trump Jr. and Ivanka Trump to comply with our investigation into the Trump Organization's financial dealings. No one in this country can pick and choose if and how the law applies to them. And of course, the Trumps are saying this is political. It's like, yeah, welcome to politics. You're taking money from who knows what foreign, countries, also politics. Like, I'm so sick of this term. Oh, it's politics. Stop playing politics. Politics is people. Get over it. Let's close on Trump. Like, where do we think this is going?
Nowhere.
Nowhere? Really? You think the AG is not going to go anywhere?
I think that the AG will do what the AG can do, but I think that she herself said, no one gets to pick and choose if they obey laws in this country. I don't agree. I think that the Trumps have been picking and choosing which laws they, are going to comply with. Throughout the history of the Trump empire. So, I mean, Trump has done a lot of illegal things. We all know that. It didn't stop him from winning. He famously said, I could shoot someone in the middle of Fifth Avenue and my supporters would still support me. That's still true. He
shot the entire island of Puerto Rico and his supporters.
Yeah, the Republican Party has too much riding on this man to watch him go down. And I just don't think ultimately it will lead to anything. Do I think there will be a lot of sound and fury? Do I think this is something that the resistance libs are going to keep chatting about and latch onto? Sure. But do I think that he's not going to be on the ballot in 2024? I put money on it. He'll be on the ballot unless he's dead.
My thought is, I think, we have to think multidimensionally about the Republicans too. I do think that there are Republicans who are national security Republicans. And if anything is exposed in these financial dealings that shows, and I'm pretty much 100% sure that this is what's happening, that there are foreign interests and oligarchs putting money illegally, then who's hiding it, that could be a problem. I don't think national security Republicans and Democrats, the deep state, whatever they want to effing call it, would stand for that. I could be, I don't know. What do you think?
Napoleon? I think there are elements.
Lincoln Project Republicans, like those types.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we don't like them, but at least
they're a little club.
I mean,
they're a little club. Yeah.
Everybody, we all want the Trumps to be held accountable. Like, I believe it when I see it. Like, I hope it happens, but it's exactly. Like I said, I'm not going to hold my breath because we've seen, we've been disappointed before, when it comes to things like this. But obviously, we want corruption to be rooted out. We would hope so.
We've been burnt by the American justice system before. Yeah.
Breaking news. You heard it here first.
Yeah.
And by the time you hear this, I'm going to guess our filibuster vote is not going to be successful. Just gonna, my hunches.
The other thing is this filibuster vote, it's just very conveniently timed, whereas we've been pushing for this since Biden got into office and they haven't put any weight behind it until suddenly during this major wave of the pandemic where they're trying to distract from it in any way they possibly can. There's this massive speech. They just have all of the TV networks talking about this speech, even though the fundamentals of the situation haven't changed and they know it has no chance to pass. So in my mind, it's a distraction. Yeah, they're forcing the vote, which they know it's not effective.
A distraction.
The thing is, like, if Trump would have been in Biden's position right now, he would be calling Cinema and Manchin out by their names and really going hard against them. Just like the same way Trump talks about anybody like who disappointed him, who went against him. And I think Biden should go that route. Stop that whole diplomatic, polite stuff, the back channeling. Like, make it public. Just tell everybody how you feel and throw some shots out there, and at least just shaking things up. And at least people will feel like you're trying to do something and you're being combative. But all this like, oh, we're working behind the scenes and all that, like that's not communicate anything to people.
And you know what? I mean, even this is gonna be a little controversial. I love Bernie, but I feel like we love Bernie because he challenges the establishment. And saying you're going to back a primary, I don't think that, like we said, what's not what's moving them. And frankly, someone should primary this guy, Chuck Schumer. I mean, come on now, let's be real. Like Chuck Schumer, you think if he wants to stay in leadership, which I am not sure he does, because he will lose leadership if this goes on, unless they have some sort of, hat trick right before the election where they're going to like cancel student debt or something. He's not going to be in leadership any longer. So I don't get it. Primary him. Let's do it. All right. I'm all about going after Nazis and these guys. Hey, if you're not already a patron, please join us on patreon.com/the Nomiki Show. This is how we fund an independent media show. We launched right before COVID, as everybody knows, and we don't do the grifty thing in terms of whatever the controversy is of the moment that pulls people in. But that also makes our show, I think, we have a great quality audience, a deep thinking audience, an audience that wants to learn how to activate and organize and thinks globally as well as locally. We have a lot of global conversations on this channel, on this show. We, of course, have the committee program, and we're going to launch another program soon, Solidarity Wednesdays. This is all doable because of our patrons, and you can join us on patreon.com/the Nomiki Show.